Hello everyone, this is a tutorial about drawing the red pepper and I'm drawing it in watercolor. First I'm drawing in the object, so that's gonna be the red pepper, and I'm just using the, I can use a pencil, or this time I'm just using the black ink pen. I'm just doing a draft drawing, so I don't have any eraser, I can't clean it, so it's just gonna be what you see in the end, and no changes. So I can do minor changes because it's just a kind of like a sketch quality, so you can adjust the proportions, the edges, so as long as it's just not too obvious, but maybe slight changes with redrawings here and there. So at the beginning it felt like I've done it too big, so I thought maybe I need to change the proportion, make it smaller, but then I kept sketching it in and I realized it's actually okay and exactly what I wanted, so I didn't have to adjust anything. And again, because I didn't use the pencil, so I couldn't erase anything, so it was just right away the black ink thing. I'm doing all the key elements, so it's the you see the darkest part on the object, so that's given me the shape of the object, and now I'm moving on to adding the colors. I'm gonna do a first wash, so it's gonna be just adding the first layer of color, so that's gonna be light green and light red, and then as I progress I'm just gonna add more and more color to it, so more layers, and then the darker parts will have the more layers and also more intense color because of the color mix. So I'm gonna be using the darker tones of red by mixing the red and another red, or also mixing the red with the brown tones, so you'll see here a whole combination. And then for those highlights that you see in white, they're at the top on this video, they're at the top of the pepper, but on my when I was sitting there drawing, so on my view it's on the side, so you can see it on the top and on the side. So I could have left them the white areas while drawing, but I decided not to focus on that too much, so I took the white gouache with me and thought I'm just gonna use the white gouache to do the highlights towards the end, when I'm done with the main drawing. As you can see, I'm using the watercolor pen, so water fountain pen I think it's called, so it's just like one brush, it's synthetic, and I quite like it, so I'm just using it everywhere now. So it's easy to carry, it has the water container in it, and it's also quite handy, and I find the brush itself is very nice, and I found the balance between adding the water and mixing it with the color. So you have to do it by squeezing that little water container on the side, so it should be like a light squeeze, so it's not too much water and not too little. So yeah, I just found it so convenient, so perfect for me. Obviously if you're doing a more serious watercolor work, so you may need completely like proper brushes and better quality and all different sizes, but for the sketches I'm doing, so this is good enough. I was thinking to get maybe two of those of different sizes, so this one is the bigger size, I think it's like either medium or large, I think it's a large one. So if I could have got even a larger version, but I don't think there is a larger version than this, so that's the biggest one. And the quality of the synthetic is so good, so it doesn't really, nothing is really, I've been using it for so many months now and nothing is happening to this to the brush, so it can give me like really narrow lines as well as doing like bigger areas. So you can see now I've added a lot of colors of red, a lot of layers of red. So now I'm going back to my green section of the top point of the pepper, and so I'm adding, you can see like it has the lighter parts of this element and also the darker parts where the shadows are. So, and then there's a side part which is a little bit brown. It's like a side of this top end thing. So yeah, so this is the gouache I was talking about, just a small tube of white gouache. So I'm using it just like that. It will be quite difficult to, you'll need a lot of water to water it out from the brush later on, because it's quite thick, that color. But it's still okay, no big problem. So I'm doing these highlights very loose. So maybe yeah, again, it's different to have this white highlights with the gouache as opposed to the natural highlights where you just leave the white areas. So probably the white areas are looking nicer, but I also wanted to establish that for the sketch I wanted to receive, and for the impression that I wanted from that sketch, I found that gouache highlights are quite nice as well. So they're big, they're loose, and yes, they're obvious, but that's exactly how I wanted to make them. So now I'm adding again like more and more saturation to the color here and there where the darker parts of that pepper is, both in green and in red. So I'm doing this on and on. Very soon I'll be moving on to adding the shadow, which is on the left hand side from this pepper. So at the moment I'm just finishing the main pepper itself. As you can see, the separation between the darker parts and the lighter parts are quite obvious. At the very end I'm just gonna add a bit more water and like smooth them so that there is no borders, such obvious borders between them. So that's my that's gonna be my final step for this sketch. So now I'm adding I'm gonna add the background of the color of this table, and I'm adding the shadows as well. To be honest, I think I should have done the shadows more like a brown based, but it's okay. So it's more like purple, I would say. So I'm doing that, and then when I'm done with that, so it's a mix of what I'm using. It's a mix of red, blue, and a bit of brown to make it darker. So again, it needs the contrast between the object and the shadow is quite strong, so and the shadow is quite strong as well. So I'm saturating it by adding more and more layers over and over. Yeah, so that is, I'm gonna go back to the shadow again, but at the moment I'm also doing the background. So you can see this yellow, orangey, brownish background of the wood panel, or the imitation of wood panel. So yeah, so I'm just adding the main color, and then I'm gonna add a bit of a texture to it. So it's quite nice all together, all these color combinations. So I've added the main background, and now I'm gonna do some elements just to address that the structure of the wood panel. So here and there, I'm just doing it very, very loose, so I didn't want to really focus too much on it, and so it goes through the shadows as well, as you can see. Here you go. By the way, I'm cleaning the brush between those different colors, so you don't see it here on the video, but I'm doing that by squeezing more water from that little container, and then when the water goes through the brush, the tip of the brush, so it just gets rid of the color, so I can use the same brush for different colors and make the colors as clean as possible. So as I mentioned earlier, so I've just added more saturation to this to the shadow. So it's once the watercolor dries up, it becomes a bit lighter. So you think initially that it's quite dark, but no, let it give it a few minutes, it will dry, and then you will see it's way lighter. So yeah, here again, like I'm adding more intensity to the color, because again, what was quite dark after drying, water goes away and then it becomes lighter. So now it's darker again. I'm adding more dark. Here you go, it's more intensity, more contrast, so the pepper gets more shape. Really love that pepper. It's a bit artificial, to be honest. I'm not sure I'm going to be eating it because I got the cheapest one, so it does look perfect, but I'm not sure how natural organic it is. So here you go, it's a lovely sketch. I really love it. I appreciate that you joined me for watching it. Thank you so much, and have fun sketching and drawing. Bye.